Hello, welcome back. Obviously the Town and Country is back up on the bench. I'm going to have to work on the cabinet for the 48-475 so I can get the radio back in and do some do out the alignment. Figures I'd have to yawn right when I start the camera. Anyway, I've started to put the tubes back, and I wanted to share with you that the first tubes I put in were the ones that I replaced. I had tested these tubes, and believe it or not, the 11 EJ8s, which are the sync, video output sync, and AGC key and audio output. One of them was shorted, so I didn't get to finish testing it. The other one was extremely low on the pentode side. I believe it's a dual something tube. I think it's a pentode triode. Anyway, it was pretty dead. And of course, no big surprise, the 6GH8 was extremely low. And I do have one of those in a box, so that one was being replaced, so I didn't order one. The other one that was bad was the 4EJ7. The second video IF amp was almost dead. The first video IF amp was okay. The 4EH7, I think. Yeah, I didn't grab one of those, okay. And also in the tuner, the 5HG8 and the 3GK5 were both almost dead, and the 5HG8 is the mixer oscillator, and 3GK5 is the RF amp, although seemed to work pretty well. So the rest of the tubes I'm going to go ahead and put in, and basically any tube that was left in this system that was a Philco tube was dead. The rectifier is still good. Wait, let me grab the other tubes, I'll be right back. Alright, well, the first video video amp, the 4EH7, I swear is new. I pulled out of my stock because it looks new, and it's a Mullard tube or Mullard tube. Anyway, okay, so that and the high voltage rectifier, the 1G3GT, did test good, although I do actually have a spare one, believe it or not. The rest of the tubes were fine. One of the things I wanted to point out was I had mentioned, and I believe Scott even pointed out, and I believed it too because the tube was so fat. This is the 13ED7. It's not a Novar or a 9-pin Compactron. It's just a really fat 9-pin tube. I've just never seen a 9-pin tube with such a fat envelope. And this is the vertical multiplier and vertical output. I just found that interesting. When I went to go test it, I sat there for 2 or 3 tries wondering why it wouldn't fit into the 9-pin Novar plug. But anyway, so I'm going to put the rest of these in, and the reason why I'm starting this out this way is I want to get another baseline on this thing after I put good tubes in it. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the tubes in there, and I'm going to use my broadcaster because I want to see how well the tuner works as well. So I'll go ahead and turn this on. Now I also cleaned the controls with the CRC contact cleaner and operated them several times. Okay, does seem a bit brighter.
Across more than 2,000 years, we can see the care taken by the unknown artist in capturing the expression and the details that give life to this and some 50 other sculptures.
I do obviously have a little bit of a vertical lock issue.
Survived through catastrophe such as earthquake, fire,
And there's that jitter still. I mean, obviously it's going to be there. I didn't do anything with it. Anyway, the picture looks a bit brighter. That's annoying. The brightness is still turned all the way up, so... Anyway, as you can see, I have this issue on the sides here, without the pictures not filling out, and the focus looks pretty good. I noticed that the contrast is no longer screwing with the volume.
Detailed styling and was used to make a clay mold. Once fired, it was filled with molten
Okay,
bronze.
so that's enough of that. I just wanted to see what it was like with all good tubes in it, and it does look good, except for I see this is a little bit worse, and now it has a hold problem, so that's kind of interesting. And I don't know if you can see these lines, and I think this is video hum, because you know, I just have a blonder tongue like everybody else does, and it came out of a little hotel. Well, not a little hotel, but it came out of a hotel storage area, so it was used for, you know, quite a number of years. So I may have to recap that. I don't get these on my main TV, but in the bedroom TV, I can see these lines going up here. So, and I got to thank Scott from Scott TV 1962 for pointing out that that's what those are. Anyway, so I will go ahead and shut this off now. And we'll turn it back around and start replacing components. Well, welcome back. I just wanted to show you that I've got the front off, and then I wanted to show you the damage that happened in transport. So I've got some careful gluing to do. This thing is so fragile, this cabinet, the plastic bits. Here's the broken parts that go here and up and around. So I definitely have some gluing to do, or epoxying, I guess. Starting to get an understanding as to why there are so few of these left in existence. Like I said, this was a fairly short car ride, and although I did have to slam on the brakes, it sure got pretty munged up. So anyway, on to the chassis. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the outside portion of the chassis. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of de-rusting to do and clean up. So here we go. I got a lot of got a lot more vacuuming to do. I started to clean the board up before I realized I should just take it apart. It was a lot easier to deal with. So here's the front part. So I have access to the 3 main electrolytic cans and a Black Beauty there, and some resistors, and I thought somewhere, is it on this side? Okay. Well, I'm going to get started vacuuming and doing a little more cleaning. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with these connections. You know, they give you a little bit of extra wire, and what they say to do is they don't want you to slide these off and slide them back on. Once you remove them, they want you to solder them back on. So they're saying that they want you to clip the wires, leaving a little bit of the color so it's easier to figure out where stuff goes, and then strip and solder them back on when you put the board back together. The other thing is whoever did the repair was definitely following the instructions, because they want you to clip the components off and then tack the new ones on. So obviously this had been replaced, and this one. I was kind of thinking these two may have been, but I'm not positive. They look kind of interesting, to say the least. But anyway, so one of the ideas I had for these was, and I saw Bob Anderson do this. Where is it? Well, now I know how you guys do these things one-handed. I have a real challenge. So, there we go. These 0.062 inch connectors that you solder in and slide into these snaps will fit quite nicely over the top of these pins. So, and they're nice and snug. So I have two choices. I could, if I decide to do that, I can either solder them and then use shrink wrap, or I could actually put them inside these where they snap in, and then they'll go over the tops. I just don't know if they'll fit in all the tight areas. It doesn't look like they put too many of these so close together that it would hurt anything, so I've got a little bit of thinking to do on that. But apparently I've got plenty of time, because it looks like I got my work cut out for me. So alright, I'm going to go ahead and upload this video so you know that I'm doing something. And oh, for the couplets, I knew I was going to need to rebuild them, and I completely forgot to order ceramic caps. But that's okay, because I knew I had to make another order at some point, because if you look in here, where'd my little flashlight go? Oh, it's over here. This one calls for a 0.22 filter cap across the line, so I completely forgot to order that when I made my last DigiKey order, so I guess I'll go ahead and take down these component values for the couplets and K-networks, whatever you want to call them. I was being silly the other day, I was calling them couplets. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and upload this video. Wow, you know, you guys that do this one-handed, I just got a lot more respect for you. I just dropped one on the floor and I'm going to step on it. Alrighty, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a few.